Man, you're locked into the best dang wrestling podcast you'd never heard of. Episode 204 of Draped in Gold. Your boy, Flobo. I want to say thank you so much for watching live all around the world. And also a big shout out to the band Nefex. Their song Bite Me, the official theme of Draped in Gold. But as always, I'm not alone. I'm being joined by the man of royalty all the way from South America. Please welcome Prince Burano. What's going on?
Prince of Peruano, how are you? How are you, Flobo Boyce?
I am fantastic. The fact you're here today means the world to me.
Yeah, I'm on.
Your honor. I don't know.
I'm on international roaming charges, so we can't go past 2 hours today.
Yeah, we're gonna have a hot 10-minute show, man. That's what it's all about. And I want to give a big shout out to everyone watching and listening live on over the internet and Twitch and on X and on YouTube. Your questions, comments, concerns, and things to help us out as we navigate the world of wrestling and the week that was. Talk to me, man. How did you become Prince? Like, was it just kind of a thing? Would you have to kill somebody for the role, or you?
No. My father was a king.
Oh, that's it.
What's that?
Just you're a nepo baby, is what you're saying.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, how else do people become princes?
Yeah, I don't know. You could a coup. You could you could overthrow a government. I mean, I'm just putting it out there.
I mean, I guess was Prince Devitt? Was his pops a king?
I don't know. I have no idea. I never asked about. I didn't see any royal decrees when Prince Devitt was.
I mean, Fergal is a very regal name, I guess you can say.
I mean, yeah, I guess now, but I bet if I was a kid named Fergal, I'll get made fun of all the time.
What do you think people would say though? It's such a unique name. It's like I wouldn't even know how to make fun of that name.
Kids find a way.
That is true.
Kids find an absolute way.
What about was Flobo a big hit in the schoolyard?
No, but mi nombre actualmente was muy femenino, so this is why I go by Flobo instead. Gotcha. But talk to me, man. This weekend you're actually going to be in combat, like fighting for the honor of the entire Peruvian people.
See, I'm going to be in Silmar, California. I'm going to go all the way. I'm already got my flight booked. My Aero Peru. It's like the southwest of Peru, I guess you can say.
Oh yeah, southwest. Yeah, bags fly free. It used to fly free. I'm not even.
Yeah, I mean, at least I get to pick my own seats. But and I know that's going to be a thing in Southwest very soon. But yeah, I'm leaving tomorrow to prepare for this upcoming match over at Ultra Lucha in Silmar, California this Saturday.
Wow.
My question for you, Flobo.
That's me.
Flobo, you gonna go?
Unfortunately, I have work on Saturday. It was in my calendar, but I have a wedding because DJ Flopito, my alter ego, has already spent that check. So.
I guess I will give that VIP ticket to someone else.
If you give the Jack Farmer, I'd be really upset.
Jack Farmer can't even show up for Draped in Gold. You think he's going to show up in Silmar, California?
That's what I'm saying. I've been here for all 204 of these episodes. That Jack and Farmer is totally a bad idea. But enough about me hitting on Jack Farmer because I can do that every single day, man. Crazy week going on in the world of wrestling. But the first one is actually a news story I want your opinion on. So we have our official date for next year's Money in the Bank. It's going to be emanating live from the Smoothie King Arena in New Orleans, Louisiana on September 9th. 2026, September 6th, 2026. That's after SummerSlam. Thoughts about this? We all knew that WrestleMania is supposed to go to New Orleans. It got moved to Vegas. They're getting Money in the Bank, but now Money in the Bank is going to be a September pay-per-view / PLE event after SummerSlam. What say you?
My question, my pregunta for you is, because I know you've been all over the country, a little bit all over the world. Unfortunately, there's not that many things in Peru that we can say we've been to. We're very limited on what we have. I mean, we have a McDonald's and a Burger King, but that's
yeah, absolutely. That's the best part.
Have you been to a Smoothie King? I can imagine. I know in Los Angeles they have the Jamba Juice, but
and they have Robex. I've been to a Robex.
Yeah, do they? I assume the Smoothie Kings is the Jamba Juice of New Orleans.
Yeah, it's up there. See, the problem is kind of a lore about me. I'm actually allergic to bananas, so like most of the smoothies, I don't get to enjoy as intended, so I kind of opt out. But yeah, Smoothie King is a southern smoothie establishment.
Have you been there?
No.
The rumor has it before it was decided on crypto.com arena, it was going to be the Jamba Juice Center.
Really? That's your story.
No.
See, I believe you, Prince. I believe anyone from head of state telling.
Yeah, and before the Intuit Dome, it was going to be called the Robex Dome.
Nah, I always see some Robex. I like Robex. There's hummingbirds on the logo.
So speaking of which, so what was your question before I rudely sidetrack
Bank.
about Booth?
New Orleans, not WrestleMania, but it's going to be Money in the Bank, and it's September 6th, which is presumably after SummerSlam. I don't really know the actual dates, but I'm almost positive that SummerSlam is going to be before Money in the Bank this year.
I will say, yeah, that is different. Forever is a long time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So they were promised a WrestleMania. This doesn't mean that they're not going to get a WrestleMania at some point. It's coming. But also, as somebody, I can imagine the impatience of a lot of people too, right? Like a lot of people have been saving up to get their big WrestleMania ticket, whether it's
Mm-hmm.
going to New Orleans or even though Nick Khan, I don't know if this was on the agenda. I did skim the memo that you sent, but Nick Khan mentioned that he was expecting people to fly international to Saudi Arabia for WrestleMania 43.
Yeah, which is wild because it's in Riyadh, Saudi Arabia. So.
Yeah. So that's interesting. But yeah, I can imagine there were a lot of frustrated people. And say what you want. I mean, it's not the same. Money in the Bank. I've been to a Money in the Bank event. I traveled from all the way from Lima to Las Vegas back in 2023.
Whoa, that's great.
No, I think it was 2022. Yeah, 2022. Went from Lima, Peru to Las Vegas, Nevada to watch Money in the Bank. Austin Theory won that one. How did that go by the way?
Terrible for him.
But it was a fun show overall. But regardless, have you been to a Money in the Bank?
Yeah, I went to the one in Los Angeles this year because I feel like Money in the Bank now opens the summer. I feel like it's like a May, June kind of like welcome to summer wrestling, but now it's going to be late this year.
Yeah, so we've both been to a Money in the Bank show, and we've both been to WrestleMania, and I gotta say, there's nothing quite like a WrestleMania. And so the fact that, but to be fair, just to kind of be devil's advocate, el diablo advocito, New Orleans had like 2 in the last 10 years. You guys are good.
Okay. So there's a lot to unpack here. I actually disagree. I think the problem WWE has now is that there's nothing that makes WrestleMania stand out. So, like, let's be real. Like, if you go to Crown Jewel in Perth, you're getting a PLE experience, and the PLE experience is so similar. But I guess the biggest thing for me is why have Money in the Bank in September? I actually have confirmation. SummerSlam is August 1st and 2nd next year, so this comes out like 6 weeks after SummerSlam. Whereas
and where is SummerSlam?
Minnesota. It's going to be Minneapolis, Minnesota. But yeah, exactly. The nice, warm beach town of Minnesota. But the question I have is, last year, the winner of Money in the Bank got the match, presumably around SummerSlam time. Now it's afterwards.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, they still have a year to do it. So you would think maybe now that it's closer to WrestleMania, and, we've seen, things get cashed in at WrestleMania, but we've never seen somebody cash in advance to be in the main event of a WrestleMania. So that may be something that they're pondering about.
Actually, Ken Kennedy did that. Remember that? Ken Kennedy.
He called it. He said it, but it didn't actually happen.
Hey, how do you know that? Do you been watching WWE in Peru?
Yeah, we just got it like 3 years ago.
I appreciate that. Just sum it up. Oh yeah, but yeah, I don't know what to make of this besides Ken Kennedy references on the show. But like, I don't know. I understand the frustration some fans have that TKO is losing the plot and it's not the way it is, and I also understand business has to change, it has to evolve. But I really feel like WrestlePalooza this year broke a lot of what we thought PLEs were, where they land on the calendar, what it means. Am I off my rocker? Am I just complaining?
Hold on, real quick. I have to take a picture for my family. They don't believe me that I'm on Draped in Gold with Flobo Boyce.
They should believe you because we have like 2 downloads a week. That's not really that big of a deal. We get 5 when we had Issa. Like, Issa is definitely the rating spot. No thoughts about that, man. What's going on?
What was your question? I was taking a picture.
Let's move on. That said, speaking of ESPN, it turns out.
What a horrible guest I am.
Speaking about ESPN is saying that when they purchased the PLE rights of WWE, it hasn't really come money hand over fist. About 100,000 people signed up to be ESPN Plus customers and Wake Up WrestlePalooza, but the numbers aren't as high as they thought. So this comes from Dave Meltzer. So take it with a grain of salt. Did ESPN give themselves a raw deal? Hey, see what I did there?
I see what you did.
Oh yeah.
No, I mean, they probably knew what they were getting themselves into, but also it is a little steep, right? And it's so, and again, I don't want to talk about the hypocrisy because even though we're a little behind on the WWE content that we get on television, I'm on the interweb,
Yeah, absolutely.
I see the people kind of praising things and also complaining about certain things. And even like with Wrestle Dream, where I have HBO Max, but I still have to pay $30 to watch the pay-per-view.
Legally.
Yeah, and now you have the app for ESPN, like another $30. And I like to think of it as glass half full, right? People will sit there and say, "Oh, you're paying how much for Netflix just to watch WWE?" If you are only paying that much to only watch WWE, you need to do something else with your life, because there's so much amazing content that a Netflix has that a Peacock. Hey, I'm one of them too. But I
You
also
come on
don't.
my show, make it
But,
be like, no, I'm just kidding.
but I don't complain about it. I don't complain about
right,
it.
right.
Because Peacock has so much great content.
It
Netflix has so
did.
much great content. ESPN, if you're a sports fan, like, there's so much great content. So I like to think it's, I'm not saying whether it's worth it or not, but I do like to think that people that will subscribe just to WWE will open their mind a little bit more and see what else is out there. Now, as far as numbers go, yeah, we don't really know the numbers. There have been a couple stories that we've heard about Dave Meltzer that have been not fabricated, but just
Ooh.
now you got me going on a rant.
How do you say rant in Spanish?
Una ranta.
Oh, cool.
I don't know, but
What do you mean? Well, hold on, Principe. How do you don't know what rant means in Spanish?
we don't really rant over in Peru, so there's not really a
Oh, come
definition for
on.
something that we don't really do. I get it. He's a businessman. He's going to do whatever he can do to push the narrative and to sell subscription and to sell the newsletters. It is what it is. Like the whole AI story that we heard, like less than a week ago. But yeah, I mean, I'd like to think if ESPN says they're happy, then who are we to say anything else? Even if they say they were unhappy, who are we to say anything? We're just here. I'm a fan. You're a fan. Just give me the content. I don't care what it's on, and I'll watch.
I actually look this up. Desportreseando. Oh, there you go. I'm learning Spanish as I do this.
Me
Let's
too.
talk about.
Me too.
Let's talk about this. Let's talk about HBO Max and Wrestle Dream. Wrestle Dream, the
Oh,
Antonio.
Lucha Sueño.
Yes,
Lucha Sueño.
Lucha Sueño. So let's talk about this because it felt like it was. Well, not felt like it is. It is the Antonio Inoki tribute show, even though it had a little bit of Luthez in there for the St. Louis thing. AEW PLE / pay-per-views pretty much have been holding on to the old model. You said you watched it on HBO Max. Give me the overall thoughts about this. A lot of people don't really think AEW is hitting their golden era in a long, long time, but Wrestle Dream to me was kind of a fun show.
It's a fun show, but again, it just depends on what is it that they're trying to accomplish. Are they just trying to put on fun shows? Because if that's the case, 10 out of 10. If they're trying to put on, these shows that people are going to remember in 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 years, then it wasn't a 10 out of 10, right? So it just depends on what they're trying to do.
Whoa. Principe, what do you mean? What do you mean?
I mean, like there are a lot of these shows, right? Like for example, even though it kind of it hasn't really aged well. A lot of people remember the John Cena turn at Elimination Chamber. Go back 30 years, which we barely got it like 2 years ago when Hulk Hogan turned at Bash at the Beach 1996. People still talk about, apparently, from what I hear, people still talk about that, something that happened 29 years ago. Everybody remembers Bash at the Beach 96. Everybody remembers, WrestleMania 17. A lot of these people remember a lot of these big shows, but there's also a lot of shows that we don't remember, right? If I say, hey, what happened at Great American Bash 98, I guarantee a lot of people don't remember that.
You do, though.
I do, because I'm a freak of nature. But I think it was like Piper against Savage. I don't know. Yeah. But I don't know. But again, it just depends on what they're trying to accomplish. If they're just trying to put on a show, great. Fantastic, fabulous, fabuloso, as I like to say, the cleaning ladies. But it's good, right? It's like when you watch Dynamite. If you just want to watch a good wrestling show,
yeah,
great, love it. That's awesome.
You know what it is, and I don't want to. On Draped and Gold, when we started doing this show years ago, we said we want to do things in kayfabe when we were
Mhm.
just doing NXT. We can't do it anymore because we're covering news. It's impossible to do that. So we first did the show, it was like we were doing it in kayfabe. But the one thing I've always detracted from AEW, and it's starting to piss me off, to be quite honest with you, is that commentary is telling me how I should feel at the time. So you mentioned John Cena's heel turn, but I think what made it work, well, not work, we think that made that night special because it didn't work. They turned them face again. Was that there was a moment where you got, you saw him change and think
Mhm.
about the decision and make the decision, and the commentary was like, oh my God, right? But then if it was in Dynamite, Excalibur would be on the microphone being like, and there's John Cena looking around and he's trying to figure out what he wants to do, and he's definitely beating him down. Like, you don't have to tell me everything. I think that gets lost. And so that's not really the AEW roster's fault,
Oh, yeah, I
right? Isn't
agree.
that the presentation?
Yeah, I also feel bad, and I forgot which commentator I was listening to. I was listening to a podcast, and they brought up I think it was maybe GBL. He brought up a really good point. He said one of the hardest things about commentary is having to explain what's happening when you know that it doesn't need an explanation, but it's a commentator's, they're part of the story because they're telling the story. And sometimes it's just kind of like a necessity that you have to do. Even when like just a small example, right? Something happens in the middle of the ring on SmackDown in the Teddy Long era, and the lights go out. We all
Right.
know what happens when the lights go out, but the commentator has to be like, "What is happening? What's just going on?" Like they just kind of have to sell it because that's part of commentary, right? That's just part of the deal, part of the
Right.
job. So I do think it's partly very much praise to the commentator as well. But I would do want to ask you something about the John Cena because I keep hearing a lot of these things, right? A lot of people are saying that the reason why the John Cena heel turn failed was because a certain somebody withdrew themselves from the angle.
Oh, yeah. No, that's not why it failed.
But let's say for argument's sake, let's say that was like, oh, it's because The Rock wasn't there.
Right.
But what's crazy is like, and this is the part where I kind of tune out from people's opinion because it's just so invalid. If The Rock was still there, what would he have done?
Well, all right. Well, I kind of feel bad because it's supposed to be the Wrestle Dream segment, but I'll answer that real quick. So
We'll go back to Wrestle Dream, but
yeah,
yeah.
okay. But I feel like this: the Rock appearance and disappearance hurt WrestleMania, right? And I know, and the explanation we got in Unreal with him being like, "Yeah, the final boss is gonna go back in the shadows," made no sense because the whole thing was him planting seeds. So I understand if everyone felt like that was cheated. But if you cut that off, if you slice that off, the John Cena run wasn't necessarily bad. I really think this was a business decision saying, look, if John Cena is a face, he can probably make more merch and we could probably give him some more matchups that make more sense. Let's get the title back and do it. What I didn't like was why go to random SmackDown and be like, I'm just kidding, y'all. Dun, 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 dun. Like, have the match as a heel, lose to Cody, and then go, hey, look, I've changed. You beat me some sense into me. I would have loved that, but I wouldn't think it was a failure. I just think they decided, hey, look, he has so many dates left. AJ Styles works. Randy Orton works with him being the face.
I dug it. I mean, I liked this match with CM Punk. But going back to Wrestle Dream, it was just a good pay-per-view. It wasn't memorable. I'm not going to be able to tell you what the main event of Wrestle Dream is in about a year. But again, if that's what they want, then mission accomplished. Like, who am I to tell Tony Khan any way to run his business? Is his money. It's his stories that he's telling. Again, I always
right.
I will say this to the end of time: pro wrestling is a better place because of the existence of AEW.
Well, okay, so spare me the 4-star Yelp review. It was fine. What would you do that's different? How would you spice things up if you had the pen at AEW? If you feel like something's missing, then say it, Principe.
I
Say
know.
it.
I just think with the way I would produce TV shows is I would make sure people would regret watching Wrestle Dream or ordering Wrestle Dream, and it just doesn't feel that way. It doesn't feel like people are going to be talking about. It's going to be like, oh, did you watch the Wrestle Dream? Oh yeah, it was a bunch of good matches. But again, like I don't want to WWE-fy everything, right? WWE is all about the moments. It's all about the the images that gets captured that gets lasted along a lifetime, right? And AEW is just trying to present it differently. They're not about necessarily the moments. They're about the matches. They're about giving a platform to all these stars that maybe never really got the platform that they got before.
Right.
And that's fine too. And that's perfectly fine too. But that's what I'm saying. Like, again, I don't want to imply that the WWE way is the only good way, but
Oh
but
no.
again, but you got to also think like you look at business where think of the things that last a lifetime, and then more oftentimes than not, it's usually the WWE things that last a lot longer. The AEW ones don't, and that's still okay, right? It like there's more than one right way to present pro wrestling, and
Yeah.
AEW is a perfect example of that.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of I was going to say take WWE out the equation and look at TNA, but it's a muddy example now because they're working with WWE. But
Mhm.
like, I do think a lot of it is a presentation because you can see talent go from one. I look at Claudio. Claudio's one of my favorites. As Cesaro, when he had the AR like intro with the green lights and stuff, and he was
Yeah.
pound for pound the strongest. Like to me, that saying you're the strongest man in any universe is how you sell tickets. But he went over to AEW, he was even stronger because his swings are longer. He's been shredded, but it's kind of like here's someone named Claudio. I think a lot of that has to do with the presentation.
Yeah.
Now, but MLW's figured it out. TNA has figured it out. I do think there's a new commentary team mix up needed on AEW to start, but definitely presentation, packages, promos, merchandise, all that plays into it.
I
So I
mean,
want to be able.
there is something that I feel like they can do differently that they can capitalize because WWE are it's totally been put to just completely to the side is entrance music and like entrance like the I know you're a big fan of the entrance stage, right? We all
Mhm.
remember the old school King of the Ring and the backlash with the hooks.
Yeah,
Uh
and ramps. Give me some
yeah,
ramps.
yeah, and so I feel like that's something that AEW should be able to capitalize because that's something that how often do we see, and we don't really see it too often. Even when you're watching the Raw and the Netflix, we don't get SmackDown, we get Raw, not on Netflix because USA still we're a little behind on the USA Network. But like, how often do you watch Raw or whatever, and they don't even play the music anymore? They just already have the person out in the ring when they come back from commercial break. Like, I can't even. I've only heard the new Roxanne Perez theme once, right?
Oh
He
yeah,
had the
yeah,
NXT theme, and now she kind of darkened and slowed it up for a little bit. I've only heard it one time.
yeah.
Every single time she's wrestles, they already kind of half playing it with her when she's already in the ring, and that's something that I really feel like AEW should. I'm not saying hire James Johnson, but maybe hire CFO. Like, I really think that as bad as people think that Def Rebel is, I in much respect to I know he was a guest here before, the guy that does AEW theme songs.
He
But I
wasn't a
feel
guest
like
there. Mike Ruckus wasn't a guest on the show.
wasn't he?
Nope. And that was Mega Ran. Mega Ran did a
Mega
couple of
Ran, yeah.
things. Yeah,
Okay, yeah.
yeah,
Oh yeah, sorry, I got them confused. But either way, I feel like that's something that should be able to capitalize on, and I feel like these pay-per-views should be a different presentation than how they present Dynamite and
yeah.
Collision.
Yeah. Well, for AEW's credit, they don't spend 20 minutes showing people showing up to work with their
Hmm.
suitcases. So
Yeah.
anyway, I'm with you though. Western Team was great. It's kind of hard because it does seem like a tribute show that comes in the middle of the calendar. But yeah, if you can have time to see it and you can afford it, you can swing it. Really cool moments. If you didn't like Darby Allin, don't watch it because it definitely is a dollar Darby Allin propaganda piece. But I enjoyed it, man, top to bottom.
Darby Allin is a crazy, crazy man.
Yeah, he definitely is. The guy climbed Mount
I,
Everest.
I I I was watching Dynamite tonight, and he's like, "I will die for AEW, and that's what makes me different." And I'm like, you dying on AEW would probably be the one of the worst things that can happen to AEW, right?
But
Like
also kind of
he knows,
plausible.
but he knows that's not good, right?
I think it's more metaphorical, man. I don't think he's
I don't.
actually gonna.
What you think it's You think Darby Allen? Have you seen the things that he does? You think it's
Well,
metaphorical?
yeah, because if I'm Darby Allin, he can't be killed. He climbed Everest and went back to work. Maybe he thinks he's immortal,
I'm just
like a
saying.
cartoon character.
We none of us want him to die for obvious reasons, but also I don't want him to die on AEW because I want AEW to keep existing.
Okay, well, fair. Thanks so much for your concern. But speaking of concerns, Sting showed up. That was kind of cool.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was maybe all right.
No, I
Or
mean,
you were a Goldberg guy?
no, I mean, I thought it was cool. I mean, I'm a big, I like the mystique-ness of him. I thought he kind of showed up. I don't know, maybe put some highlights in your hair. I don't know. She's kind of thrown off. Like, he just looked like the wise old man with the gray hair, and that's cool and all, but I don't know. Just I don't want to see these childhood heroes of mine be old.
Wait, Sting was a childhood hero of yours? Did you have like a local talent you loved back in Peru?
Yeah, he's called El Scorpion.
Really? Not Alacran? Wouldn't that be a lot more? Wouldn't that like a lot more? Okay. All right. Whatever. Let's move on, man, because all I have is questions when it comes to what part of Peru are you from? I'm just curious.
I'm from Lima, Peru.
Oh, right. Downtown Lima, right there.
See, want to hear a funny story? Is when I was in Lima, Peru, I was like, "Oh, Sting, he's coming to town. I can't wait to see this guy that everybody keeps talking about, right?" And I go show up to see Sting. I got my face paint. It was half surfer Sting, half crow Sting, and then all of a sudden you hear every little thing she does is magic. Every little thing she does. I'm like, whoa, who is this guy? And I go, oh, this is Sting. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I guess I went to go see the wrong Sting.
And did you take off the paint, or did you like just double down and go like
I just went
Roxanne? Okay.
Yeah.
That was the police. You get the idea. Sorry, I'm not that old.
Well, Sting, but just it would have been nice to have given a heads up, we can't afford posters, so I just went off the marquee that said Sting,
I kind of feel that at your position, Your Honor, Your Highness, you could just say, "Hey, look, I demand their other Sting." Could you not do that?
Well, I mean, I was like a pauper back then.
Oh, right.
I was just like a pawn at the time.
Gotcha. You're doing Prince classes back then.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I didn't have the command that I have now.
Let's talk about Friday Night SmackDown, man, because it's the return of Unbesiegbar, right? In the United States Championship Open Challenge. Sami Zayn, and anyone can take this on, but it was Ilya Dragunov, now complete with a brand new knee brace, found a way to put down the former revolutionary, and we have ourselves a new United States champion, Prince Berano. They're talking about the prestige of the U.S. title. They say Dragunov can do it. Do you agree? What say you?
By the way, he's got a brand new something else too. Let me just say Cody Rhodes no longer the #1 candidate for worst tattoo placements.
It's kind of faded. So I don't mind it. It was like when Jack Gallagher got his the boat.
But it doesn't look faded. I feel like it's a work in progress, if you know what I mean.
Oh no, it shouldn't be. No, that's
I don't know. It feels like it's the beginning of a process, and who knows? I mean, Dom just got a new tattoo, so
Well, Dom has so many. You're gonna forget about it there in a couple of years.
Yeah,
when
maybe.
Cody got hit, it was like, "You're the suit and tie guy, man. What are you doing?"
And it's funny because a lot of people say like they're not clowning him for the tattoo; they're clowning him on the placement of the tattoo. But
Domi's or
Cody's.
Cody's, yeah.
But I digress. I mean, it was a fun little surprise. I saw it on Facebook because that's how I can get SmackDown. So I have to watch the clips on the Facebook.
Don't you not have cable also? Don't you have USA Network?
What is USA Network?
Don't you have Netflix internationally in Peru?
Ooh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, man.
I thought that's how I can just watch Monday Night Raw. Maybe I need to scroll and see what else is out there on Netflix.
You get one of those VPNs, and then you change your país.
I'll look into that right now. Right when we're done.
All I'm saying, there's a lot of VPNs out there, whether it's Surfshark or Nord. I'm an IP Vanish guy, and they're not even paying me to say that.
Interesting. I mean, I feel like there's a lot of heartbroken people because they wanted maybe Ilya to go on Raw and maybe go up against Gunther on the main roster. Although I'm sure a lot of people probably thought that. I thought Ilya Dragunov was one of the Americano guys, Rayo or Bravo.
Oh, Dragunov's way too big, and he was like injured out for a year.
Yeah, that's true. Well, I mean, I know he's not Americano. That's Chad Gable. But
whoa, that's not Chad. That's not Chad. That's not.
Okay. Oh yeah, he's taller than Chad.
Yeah, it's
no, but it was a fun little surprise. I really want to say I don't know if they're going to continue with the open challenge, but I really hope that we see the U.S. title become the workhorse title like it was becoming. I like Sami Zayn's kind of open challenge that he was doing. I thought the John Cena open challenge that we saw 10 years ago was just a work of art. I mean, just like unbelievable. No, it's 2015.
Oh, the second one. Got it.
Yeah.
Okay, so that wasn't one when he was actually U.S. champion when he was the spinner belt time. Was that also a weekly challenge he did?
I don't remember.
Well, let me ask you this though. You mentioned this. I know the workhorse title, the IC title is historically applied to that.
There's an IC title. We call them slushy titles.
I hate this. I hate the Padre jokes, the Padre bromas. But the U.S. title, as long as the U.S. title has been inside the WWE umbrella, it hadn't really had the prestige of the Intercontinental Championship. And I know I like the idea of a workhorse title or open challenges, but is there something that Ilya Dragunov can do to really put a stamp on that championship to really make it mean something in the grand scheme of things?
I mean, maybe defended. It doesn't have to be every week, but also maybe every other week. But also, I want to see programs. I want to see people fighting for this championship. I want to see people going after this championship, not just here's the guy that's going to wrestle for it this week. I want to see guys actually want to win the championship, go after it, gun after it. Just kind of. He's a champion now, so I really want to see maybe the IC become a target, but also just something where it becomes like there's a purpose behind it, right? I'm a big fan of and now I'm going to go on another tangent, so I apologize in advance. Championships, traditionally championships are pretty regional, right? The world title, the US title, even the old school, the mid-Atlantic, the mid-South, the Midwest, and the Pacific title, it is all very regional because you're representing a region, right? So we have your US title, and you're representing the US, even though you might not be American, you're representing to the US. I know your favorite, the European, even if you're not European, you're representing Europe, right?
Mm-hmm.
Chip tooth.
Wow.
But I need to get that fixed. So when there's championships, I know it doesn't exist anymore, but it's like, oh, you are the 24/7 champion. Like, what are you the champion of? Even like the speed champion. Like, what are you the champion of? Oh, you are the best wrestler to win matches in under 3 minutes. Like, I don't know. I just wish there was.
You're splitting hairs, because if I was the never open weight champion, would that piss you off too? Because it's just basically a weight class title.
I don't even know what that means. But the weight classes are fine, because even when the cruiserweight championship was around, it's like, oh, there is nobody better at 205 pounds or less. Like, now you represent a weight class, and that's fine. Because you see
the X division in TNA isn't a region; it's a division.
I agree.
Does that matter? No.
But I mean, what does that represent though? Like, if the X division has no limits, then why isn't the world champion going after the X division title, or vice versa? I know they had that option C that they had back in the day, but I don't know. I just wish that they would just kind of focus on what the championship actually represents, and going back to what the initial question was, just really focusing on like, okay, what are you representing? I want you to be great, but not so great where it wouldn't make sense for you to challenge the world champion. And it would make sense for the world champion not wanting to go after the US championship, right? I mean, we've seen that before, and I don't really have issues with it, but I just want some kind of balance between, putting the emphasis on what it means to be a certain champion.
Here's what I suggest for the US title. And we take the open challenge, we take it one step further and say the United States champion has to defend their title every 14 days. And if that day appears at a house show or a live event, they clip that out and they put that on the internet. And that could be almost like your digital title. And if it's on SmackDown, and so it kind of looks like, okay, yeah, you get to be outside of the realm of wrestling if you're wrestling at all these places, these bars, these small venues as US champion. That's my theory. I don't know if it works.
Yeah, I mean, I was a big fan of the UK championship.
Oh, it's my favorite.
I know you were as well, but I wish they would have kept it more consistent, right? Like, for example, it was fun when you saw Tyler Bate and Pete Dunne wrestle in Chicago for the UK title, right? But I don't know. I would have liked to have seen like Finn Balor or Sheamus go after that championship at some point. I think that would have been a lot more fun, especially kind of spicing up. I feel like it would happen now if just the kind of way they do things now, where you have people on NXT show up on SmackDown or Raw, then the occasional, like, you have Becky Lynch becoming NXT Women's Champion. Like, I feel like if that was still around, I feel like we would be seeing Sheamus as the UK champion right now.
I always say I love NXT UK, but it's more apparent now that the whole show and division was ahead of its time. I mean, the NXT UK division, I remember when Finn Balor wanted to go back and go to NXT UK and just work it as a regular talent. I mean, that would have been awesome, personally.
Yeah. But, I mean, I loved it when we saw Aleister Black make his first appearance on the NXT UK show.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And even like you when American talents would show up, like Ivy
Hmm.
Nile. Remember her? Remember when she was untouchable? Remember she had a winning streak, that Ivy Nile? Okay.
Remember the diamond mine? But like
Oh,
when it first started,
oh yeah, with Hachiman and Roderick
Ta-
Strong.
and Taylor Rust or Russ
Yeah.
Taylor at what he was known out here,
Yeah.
and Malcolm Bivens.
Malcolm Bivens. Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's a dark time.
I feel like Malcolm Bivens would be fun, or Stokely Hathaway. I feel like he'd be great to hang out with. I feel like he's just filled with '90s R&B quips, which I love.
Yeah. Yeah.
'90s R&B is just my jam.
Wait, really?
I love me some Jodeci.
I didn't know Jodeci was hot in those Peruvian streets like that. That's
Oh, it
crazy.
just came out like 2 years ago. By the way, a lot of things happened 2 years ago. I feel like we just got a flux of '90s things just around 2 years ago in Peru.
Man, watch out when COVID shows up. It's gonna be a bad time for everybody.
Oh man.
Let's just real quick before I'm not going to drill down this too much, but what's your thoughts about the MFTs staring down the White Six on SmackDown this week? Are you on board with that or not too much?
I am so on board with this. I absolutely love this. I think it's great, and I loved if it's leading up to War Games. I love that it's not like even like going back to I don't I think we talked about it somewhere someplace. I was not here, but somebody mentioned to me like this is probably the first time in a very very long time that we're going a full calendar year without seeing a Hell in a Cell match, and then
Thank the Lord.
somebody brought up and said like, oh well, that just goes to show that. I mean, I don't think they said it negatively, but just like maybe the characters and the booking has been a little too weak, where no story has been strong enough to have it fit inside Hell in a Cell. And I disagreed. Now, I'm not saying there was a story strong enough, but I'm saying like I feel like when Triple H first took over, he said a lot of like we're not going to be seeing a lot of these events just for the sake of having it. And he said like he didn't want to have Hell in a Cell just because it's October time, right? Not to be confused with Tiffy time, but going back to the War Games, I feel like now that you have kind of War Games, it kind of is becoming the September, or I'm sorry, the Survivor Series tradition.
Hate it.
I really
I hate Survivor Series. I hate War Games. It just needs to be blown up. But
I but what I was getting at is I like that it's not just a bunch of top guys getting pushed into the War Games program. I feel like if this is the end, if this is going to be what ends up being the War Games match, the Bloodline versus or the MFTs against the Wyatt Six, I love it. It's a breath of fresh air. I think it's different. I think there's a lot of creative things that can be done with the Wyatt Six. I love that the MFTs are I almost said NFT.
remember those? Wow.
Yeah. The MFT kind of got a little fresh paint of coat with kind of Tama and Tonga really embracing their Japanese, because that's something that we saw in the New Japan era of the Gorillas of Destiny. Now you're adapting Jeff Cobb / JC Mateo and Tala Tonga. I think it's great. I think this is really, really going to be a lot of fun to see, and hopefully we get to see a lot of creative things coming from both groups, and hopefully it leads up to the War Games match, which I think would be great to see.
Principe approved. I love the idea on paper. I just feel like the White Six are just always mothballed and then brought out and put back in. Over the summer when they won the tag team titles, I go, oh my gosh, the White Six are actually going to get going. And then it's like, oh yeah, they're still champs a couple of months later.
And but it seems like people are really digging it too. Like it reminded me of I mean, again, I'm not trying to say it's the same level, but I remember when you saw the very first time we saw the Wyatts, the original Wyatts and the Shield kind of share the same ring at the same time. I remember I think it was like a November 11th of like 2013, and
Wow.
it was in the UK, and that place went absolutely crazy to the point where they finally had that 6-man tag at Elimination Chamber 2014. That's what I'm talking about, like a show that's so memorable because of one thing, where the place was just literally chanting "This is awesome" before they even rang the bell, just because it was that special. And again, I'm not saying it's at the same level, but I feel like it's kind of like a modern day version of that, where we're seeing, the Wyatt Six, even though, Rowan and Bo Dallas is involved. And now you're seeing kind of a remnants of the Shield, kind of like, you had Roman's bloodline, and now you have, Solo and kind of his people. So I do like that. It's a little bit of a nostalgic tribute, but also getting to do their own thing. kind of reminded me when I saw that segment on SmackDown or clips of it. It reminded me of that moment when the Wyatts and the Shield first locked up, and how crazy the crowd went when they saw the Wyatt Six and the MFTs a lot, or I guess share the same ring at the same time for the first time.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm on board, even though I'm not a fan of War Games or Survivor Series. I guess it makes sense. You got to use them somehow. So, and of course, Solo is my tribal chief. So that's me personally.
What?
Oh yeah, that's the only guy I acknowledge, man. I love you, Solo.
You don't acknowledge Bronson Reed as your tribal thief?
He used to have the shoes, but they disappeared. So there's no Shula Fala, therefore there's no chief. Just putting it out there. Speaking of Raw, as we talk about the main event picture, Seth Rollins officially vacates the title or is stripped of the title by GM Adam Pearce.
Almost 10 years to the day since the last time he did it.
Man, the guy is going to be a Hall of Famer, but just the most unfortunate timing for injuries. I mean, I guess every time's a bad time to get injured, but you know what I'm saying. That said, though, we have ourselves a world title in the offing. It's CM Punk, the number one contender, and Jey Uso, the man that won on Monday night. Jey Uso versus CM Punk. The IWC is throwing a fit, but I think it's going to be dope. What say you, Prince Peruano?
The opinions of the IWC is completely irrelevant.
Oh, snap!
They do not count. They do not matter, because when you go to a show and you see the reaction that Jey Uso gets, that's really what matters. When you see the merch sales that Jey Uso has, that's really what matters. I think it's going to be a fun match. I'd be very shocked and surprised if Jey Uso is victorious in this match. I think it's going to be a good match. It's interesting just how much they are not. I don't know. I want to say it's going to be a bigger part of the story eventually down the road, but I think it's weird how your boy LA Knight's kind of being thrown to the back burner for a while now. Like, you know, people thinking he's going to win the Money in the Bank, it ends up going to someone else. People thinking he's going to win the Battle Royal to be in the main event for the World Heavyweight Championship, it's going to go to Jey Uso. So I think it's interesting. I want to say that his time will come. Maybe at WrestleMania, who knows? I don't know. I think it's interesting how he's pretty much. I think he's there, but the office, whether either they disagree or it's inevitable, and maybe give him another 6 months and he'll be there.
I hate the fact that I'm going to say this because I sound like such a normal wrestling fan, which is I really am. It's you got to turn LA Knight heel, and that is LA Knight 2 years ago would have been money. LA Knight a year ago would have been
money. Yeah, that money. Yeah.
That also millions of dollars. Primetime player, shout out to.
Nope.
I will accept that as well.
I will accept Crime Time all day.
Wow, you know what? Crime Time is one of the few gimmicks that offended me as a Brooklyn Knight. But that's
really
because it was like Brooklyn is not like it is like that, but not like that. No, all the time. You know how it is. People make fun of Peruvians and they have like the Jaguars and everything. It's like the Jaguars are there, but it's not all about the Jaguars. You know what I'm saying?
Nobody makes fun of Peruvians.
Oh, fair enough. Okay. Well, I just wanted to say that, look, I think that this version of LA Knight is kind of stale. And I like him. I like him a lot. I will buy the merch. In fact, I did buy the merch. But if he won the title now, it would seem like it was 2 years too late. So either has to be a straight on heel turn or one of those like face turns that have a certain kind of edge to him that makes him a little bit different to get me to buy into it once more. Or else he's going to be the guy who's going to be losing.
I don't think we can ever see him as a heel because he's just too entertaining. Like, what was the one segment he had in TNA when
with the button?
With dummy. The button, yeah. Like that was amazing.
But I think give him time to do stuff like that instead of being like like have him these segments and have him talk to the crowd, have him wrong on the crowd, and do the whole like anti-hero attitude era type thing and see what it works.
I don't know if they're just too PC, or maybe not because they're clearly they're just nothing about the money. But if he needs to bring that back just so they can sell the buttons, the dummy,
dummy, back to life, back to life. That's what it is. He's been saying that for years. It's not an insult; it's a fact of life.
It's great. My favorite thing about LA Knight is because I study a lot as a luchador. I try to study all styles, and I've always been wanting to go out to Los Angeles to wrestle, and thankfully I get to do so this upcoming Saturday at Silmar, California, October 25th, 2025, for Ultra Lucha. But so I saw some stuff that LA Knight used to be known as Sean Ricker, whether it's back in Championship Wrestling from Hollywood, whether it's Mach 1 Wrestling, just he was always. But the thing that I like about him is that his gimmick has never changed.
No.
He's always been that guy. And I love that. I love that. Like, and I love it, but I also hate the fact that he didn't get signed. I know he got signed for a hiccup, but I hate that he wasn't, on the main roster like a good 10 years prior. Because man, if they had noticed his magic, then he would be like at least like a 6-time world champion by now.
And I say this not all the time, but sometimes. Hot take: he was getting Max Dupree over. It was awkward, it was bizarre, but the crowds were going Dupree for months. And the fact he walked away, I get it. I would probably do the same thing in his position, but that shows you that here's somebody who has the range, but just choose to do something that works for him, that's comfortable. That's you have a good performer. That's all you really need when it comes to these sort of things. Because as the WWE roster gets older and you're not doing as much in the ring compared to say AEW matches or ROH matches, it's all about character, it's all about posturing, it's all about the dummy, and it's all about that stuff as well.
Yeah,
man. I can't wait to see.
See, idiota. See.
Hey, whoa! You can't say that.
Oh, sorry.
That's a very.
See.
Put the E tag on it now. I'll see how it is. But yeah, man. Before we move on to NXT, does any notes from Raw that you want to tackle? Because I know that's like your favorite show, man. You are on that Netflix all the time.
Oh my god, I love the Monday Night Raw. I like that they're continuing the whole Maxine Dupree. Speaking of the Dupree family, I love that they're still, because I think she's been showing constant improvement on a weekly basis, and just the fact that she won by DQ this time, it feels like the story is going to continue, and I love that it's going to go somewhere else. Do I think she's going to win the IC championship? I don't think so, but I do think
Sacramento did.
Yeah, but I do like that they are giving her the at least some kind of opportunity that she deserves. I think she's been improving every single time she's been in the ring, and I love that. But yeah, just overall, I wish the tag division was more. I'm not really a fan of just random people getting put together and winning championships.
It worked for the Mega Powers. They exploded.
They never won, but they never won a championship.
But they were kind of close to being it.
I don't even think they got a title shot.
It's that Hogan, man.
But I don't. But they never faced off against Demolition.
No, they didn't.
But it's just like you have AJ. By the way, what would be the name for AJ Styles and Dragon Lee?
Besides AJ Lee, I have no idea.
Maybe Dragon Styles.
Dragon Styles sounds like a '90s promotion. Like
Styles Dragon.
No, don't do that.
The Phenomenal Dragons.
That's terrible.
Then they can go up against the Lucha Dragons.
I have missed them. Lucha.
What about the Dragonule Phenoms? I just made up a word.
Rolls off the tongue. Love it.
Yeah, I like it. I don't know, but I couldn't help to think the similar. I mean, one of them is they couldn't be any more different. But AEW has a random tag team of a masked guy and a American wrestler, in Brodito. So I couldn't help to think the similarity between those two. I don't know. Like I'm hopefully, I'm not saying hopefully it leads somewhere. Hopefully it's not just. I mean, how often did we were like, oh yeah, I forgot the Judgment Day were the tag team champions, Like I that's what I hate about sometimes how things get portrayed. And hopefully now that it's a new team that they don't have to be reminded that AJ Styles and Dragon Lee are the champions is what I'm getting.
Give it up, man. It's Chinatown. It's going to be that forever.
I think SmackDown is doing a lot better when it comes to their tag team division. So I know Xavier Woods is hurt. But I wish they would do more with the New Day. Obviously,
the division is stronger than it was a year ago. I guess what happens is there's a champion. They kind of get like shell gamed. You forget who's champ, and then they lose. And you go, oh yeah,
yeah. I think that when you have to say that, I think that's not really a good thing. Again, where are the Creeds? Where's the Viking Raiders? I know they'll show up here and there, but maybe we can get the Americanos as a consistent tag team / New Quarter Catch Crew. No, wait, which one? No, New Catch Republic,
Yeah.
which was
New
a stupid
Cash
name. That was a
Republic. Well,
stupid name, anyways.
it's not as dumb as Brawling Brutes. I'll take New Catch Republic over anything else.
How
Over that,
dare you?
the Brawling Brutes was a dumb name. What I mean, the Brawling Brutes.
What's wrong
Really?
with the Brawling Brutes?
That doesn't put any fear to anyone's hearts. And yes,
And
you brawl because your
New
job is
Catch
wrestling.
Republic does.
So here's the thing: New Catch Republic is dumb. Yes, it isn't the best name, but at least you can like build merch around it or a logo about it, or you can be a fan and say, "I'm part of John Cena's chain gang." But someone
No,
go Brawling Brute, you're like, "What the hell does that even
no,
mean?"
Brawling Brute is not a dumb name.
It is.
Butch was a dumb name.
It
I
also
don't, I
was.
don't, I don't mind the name Butch. I mind it is like there are a trillion names in the world that you could have used. Why do you have to use a bushwhacker?
Oh yeah, that seems
That
very.
that that was my only thing. That's my only thing. If it was Bushwhacker Luke and Bushwhacker, Dutch, great. Butch is a great name. But because it was like, dude, there was a bushwhacker named Butch. Why do you have to name him a bushwhacker?
Yeah, it seems very anti McMahon, right? Can't have two Austins on a roster, two Johns on a roster, but yet on the Butch. But yeah, well, we're gonna do Halloween Havoc preview in just a minute. But on NXT this week, there's a lot of flying storylines. I just want your thoughts and things. Some of the storylines are really piquing your interest. For me, definitely it's Stax and Ariana Grace and their romance angle. They got the Triple A world colliding. The Broken Hardys are back. Sean Legacy really showed out, gave me shades of young Gargano. I think NXT is on the upswing.
NXT is one of my favorite shows. I watch it.
Yeah, Jack.
I watch it every week on the CW, as they call it over here. The CW.
Wait, there's CW in Peru?
Yeah.
I thought you had your own networks. I don't know. I thought it'd be like.
No, yeah, it's called the CW.
Fair enough.
Yeah, we don't have the USA network. We have the Peru network. But no, it's a great show. I have a huge crush on the Ariana Grace. I think she is yes, she'd be, if she was Miss Peru, then all would be well in the world.
Unite the Kingdoms.
Oh my God, I would make her my queen.
Oh,
I'm not even a king yet, but I would make her my queen.
Well, you need a queen to do that. So yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So yeah, I think it's a great show overall. I think it's so much fun. I'm digging what they're doing with this Sol Ruka, Blake Monroe, Zarya story that they're doing. I don't think Sol Ruka is. No, sorry to break the kayfabe. I mean, we broke it anyways. But I don't think she's really hurt. I think it's part of the story, and I'm really interested to see where the story is going. I did see last week when they had the battle royal and Zarya eliminated herself to save Sol Ruka, which I thought was one of the stupidest things I've ever seen on wrestling TV.
Oh, you hate friendship? I got you.
No. So, okay. So Blake Monroe is attacking Sol Ruka on the outside, right?
Okay.
And Zarya is on the top rope. So just get down, go under the ring, and save your friend. Why do you have to eliminate yourself in the process?
Well, we put it like that. That's kind of logical. Sometimes you have to take a poop. You don't think straight. It could be a very similar situation here.
Ah, man, I've been there. When you're clenching the steering wheel for dear life,
right?
But yeah, I think NXT is a great show. Ricky Saints, I feel like he's getting there. I don't think he's kind of captured the magic that he has in AEW in NXT just yet. But I think he's going to get there. I think Trick Williams has vastly improved since turning heel. I think he is going to be a shining star on whatever roster he ends up at in the near future. But yeah, I'm loving it. The only thing I noticed was like, this is so weird. So a couple years ago, you had a team called the MSK.
Yeah.
And then one of them got released.
Right.
Wesley stuck around.
Correct.
But then he got released. Now we're seeing the other guy that first got fired now show up back on NXT. Now he's getting more TV time than the guy who initially got fired. Man, wrestling is so weird.
TNA is weird too. Like the whole Jakara Jackson, like Mara Shade thing, where she just changed her name and you can't even recognize her or acknowledge her as being Jakara Jackson anymore.
I mean, they don't. But I did like the brief moment her and Lash Legend had in the Battle Royal.
Right. It's like
I
I
thought I
remember
thought that
you.
that was great.
Look,
Yeah,
excited.
that is weird. It's like it's a loophole, but also like it kind of sucks because it's like WWE maybe doesn't have to pay him that much because now they can go to TNA and they can still get WWE can still use them without having to pay him, which kind of sucks.
Shout
But
out to Elijah.
yeah, shout out to a lot of people.
Yeah.
I mean the Iconics are another one or
Oh,
Inspiration. Um,
Inspiration, or I forget her TNA name, but Xia Li, Li Ying
late,
Lei,
late, late, yeah, late, yeah,
Li
yeah. Even like
Ying
Zaya
Lei.
Brookside.
Yeah,
She's
Tati.
but yeah, I mean, overall, I think NXT, especially because this is, I think it's always great whenever you see multiple brands work together. And I mean, I like it when WWE, I like it when AEW does it, when New Japan guys show up and CMLL guys show up. I think it's great. So I think WWE does it. I don't want to sit there and say one company good, the other company bad because they're all great. But I feel like NXT does a better job at balancing everything out, and also again going back to what I was mentioning earlier, making it mean a little bit more. It's not just we're not just seeing Ethan Page against Eco the Dr. Wagner this weekend. There's actually a story behind it, right? You have the Latin American champion, you have the North American champion. It's not just two random guys just suddenly showing up for no reason. I like that there's a little bit more emphasis, and although we did just see Iguana and one of the Parkas show up.
Actually, it's Dila Parka. Let's.
I don't know. I was like, is this the same guy in WCW that was using the guitar or using the chair as a guitar?
Hey,
Is
hey,
this
hey! You,
was
hey,
this the
you know
same
how
guy?
lucha works. You
Is
should know.
Diamond Dallas Page going to take off the mask and or show up to be DDP? I don't know.
Hey. So let's get into it. Halloween Havoc comes to you live from Prescott, Arizona, which is not, I'm not going to be there, but I know you should be there because it's a great place to see some good
What day is
wrestling
it?
actions. It is Saturday, the day of your event.
Oh wow! So maybe I'll skip my show and go to NXT Halloween Havoc instead.
I could totally see that. I could totally see that. Look, you mentioned it. Let's talk about this one first. Day of the Dead match for the NXT North American Championship, meaning only NXT title is going to be in the line. It's Ethan Page, the #1 North American on the planet, against El Hijo de Dr. Wagner Jr. It's Lucha. It's Canada. It's all of North American action you can stand. What say you? Who do you got?
I'm gonna go with the. Let me just say something about Ethan Page. Ever since he showed up on NXT, he has knocked everything out of the park. I feel like out of every, with the exception of Cody and Punk, of course, out of every single like rising star, I guess you can say rising star, that NXT and WWE has picked up from AEW, I feel like Ethan Page has shined the most. And I feel like this Saturday is going to be another example of how he is going to shine. At Halloween
Dang,
Havoc.
Jade Cargill left the chat, bro. But I'm with you. I think Ethan Page is bona fide. He's the one that over the summer when NXT was losing its creative direction, I would say Ethan Page was the only guy I would buy the merch from. He's just that good. So what do you got?
Ego.
Do you have him winning on Saturday?
Absolutely.
What? So
I wish if it was title for title, I would still have Ethan Page winning.
That would be kind of surreal, having both the Triple I Mega Campeon and the Latin American Challenge.
Although, yeah, I want to say, although it would kind of maybe take away a bit of the mojo of a Dominic Mysterio, but I do have Ethan Page winning this upcoming Saturday and retaining.
Well, you had mentioned earlier too that Sol Ruka is unable to compete and defend the North American Championship. Well, Zarya will be stepping in for her. Interesting, against Blake Monroe. It's the Glamour against Zarya for the Women's NXT North American Championship. Who do you got?
I think it can go either way. Like I said, I'm really digging the story between like this overall Zarya and Sol Ruka story. You have Blake Monroe, who is probably going to end up becoming the best wrestler to ever sign with WWE from AEW, as part of the Rising Star people. But it's only a matter of time. But I do feel like we're going to see a brand new, glamorous North American champion after the Saturday.
Should need the title more than anyone else. I feel I'm with you as well. And guess what? Them boys is bouncy, Javon Evans.
I was gonna say, you're a DJ, right?
Yeah. If people book me, I am.
Well, aren't you booked this Saturday, which is why you're not showing up to my show? which you
live.
which you promised you were going to show up.
I promised to go to this show because the last show was I was commuting to your show. You're like, yeah, I already went. And I was like, come on, Prince. Could you stop the bus?
Yeah, Peru is a long trip.
I know.
But I was gonna say, and I told this to the other guy, the Jack Farmer.
Oh, that guy.
Can you when you play like a dance song? All right, everybody on the dance floor, get ready to after you play the cha-cha slide and everybody clap your hands.
I hate that song, but
Or what's the other one? What's the other one?
Cupid Shuffle or Wobble. Yeah, Cupid Shuffle. Yeah.
To the left, to the left,
Yes,
to the
yeah,
right.
yes. You go right first.
Okay, anyways, so after you play those songs, can you play like Lola Vice's song? I just want to see how people react to it.
No, because no one knows it.
Yeah, I know, but you can be the person that like, all right, dude, listen to this banger, or you can play like Blake Monroe song.
I'll be honest with you, Prince. There are some places in DJ fandom where you get to try new stuff and experiment. You don't really do that at weddings. Like,
Oh man,
you don't drop that like, oh, here's my hot new track when someone's getting married. You'll be fired like on the spot.
Well, aren't you going to get fired anyways? I mean, isn't that no? But you want the recommendations. That's what you're looking for, right?
You
want
don't DJ for
word
the
of mouth.
client. You DJ for the next client.
Oh, interesting. Interesante.
Is that all?
No, yeah. I mean, I always try to get people to plan a sneak in a wrestling tune here and there.
Why Lola Vice? Okay, you know what? Okay, got a preview. So, Javon Evans, Leon Slater, since you ruined my intro, are taking on Mr. Iguana and La Parca for a tag team match. Nothing's on the line, but still kind of a fun Worlds Collide. Who you got?
I think we're going to see a team 20-year-olds. I feel like we're going to see team. What's the other guy's name? What's Leon Slater's nickname? It should be like the Bouncing Brothers.
No, the Brothers. What the?
Okay, I'm sorry. The Bouncing Brothers. Or I know. The Bouncing Hermanos.
Okay, yeah, all right. Bouncing Hermanos. I'm not sure why they would be Hermanos, but
well,
but yeah. So
isn't that the translations of brothers?
I think so.
Well, because I can't say because I can't use the A because then it'd be hermanas.
Oh right. Well, I mean, no, you can't do that. So you got them winning this weekend against Mr. Iguana La Parca?
I think so. I as much as we love the Iguana, as much as we love La Parca and whatever he does, I feel like whenever they show up, it's just to kind of get that crowd going. It's kind of get the Yeska over to kind of get sell the merch and whatnot. I don't feel like they show up to win matches, if that makes any sense. I don't want to say they're glorified jobbers, but I just feel like that they're there to put other people over. And I feel like Javon Evans and Leon Slater, I'm loving the chemistry between the two. I like that they kind of represent a new generation of wrestling fans. Especially, the younger ones, right? Because I feel like a lot of these kids these days have a certain vocabulary that is more relatable to a Javon Evans, right? Like I would never use the word bouncy, but I feel like that's a term that probably gets thrown around maybe 6-7 times out of the day, Yeah. But yeah.
To answer your question, Leon Slater is the youngest in charge. That's his nickname.
So the youngest bouncies.
That sounds terrible.
The bouncy youngins.
That sounds like a kid show.
The charging bounces.
Okay, that sounds like an insult. The charging bounces, some mother. Okay. Ricky Saints, Trick Williams, NXT titles on the line. I'm with you. I love Ricky Saints on the roster, but it just seems that he's just been a victim of the meteoric rise of Trick Willie. Ricky Saints seemed outclassed on the microphone, which was kind of an odd thing to see. Trick Williams is having a year of years, but does he walk away the NXT champion for the third time?
I do not think so. I feel like we just saw Ricky Saints beat Obafemi, where has he been since he lost the championship? But I feel like we need to see Ricky Saints. I feel like needs the championship a lot more than Trick Williams. Trick Williams just came off a fantastic TNA heavyweight championship run. And it just kind of does show. And I've seen this past couple weeks, ever since Bound for Glory, that he doesn't really need the championship anymore to stand out. And I feel like Ricky Saints unfortunately does at the moment.
I'm with you. Yeah, that totally makes sense. I think we're actually in lockstep, if you can imagine this. And speaking of NXT championships, the NXT Women's Championship is also on the line as the self-proclaimed most beatable champion of all time. JC Jane goes against the Women's Battle Royal winner Tatum Paxley. Will this be the night, the spookiest night of the year for Miss Paxley?
I have been a big fan of the Tatum Paxley for a while. I think every time she is in the ring, she shows out and she shows something new. And we're all just, I don't want to say we're pleasantly surprised, but we're all just like, damn, like we need to see more of Tatum Paxley. I remember I think she had a match with like Kalani Jordan for the North American Championship about a year ago, which I thought was fantastic. And then you have JC Jane, who obviously started off as the most beatable champion in all of probably pro wrestling, and she is just showing out every single week. I feel like with this new fatal influence, we're just seeing what they can do. It does kind of come across as Laney Reed is maybe like what's the word when you like you infiltrate like a group to kind of split them apart?
Infiltrator group.
I guess, yeah. I feel like she's a group infiltrator, because she's kind of doesn't really say much, but I don't think that's what they're going to do. But I do think that there is momentum to be had by JC Jane winning and Fatal Influence seeing what these three can do ever since we saw the departure of Jasmine Nix. And yeah, I think we'll see a little bit. Maybe we'll see Lyra Valkyria involved. I feel like there's still this kind of like with Tatum Paxley, is she all in with the culling, but she's still hugging with her friends? They get frustrated because they thought they were family, but I don't know. I do like all these directions it can go. At the end of the day, I do think JC Jane is going to retain the NXT Women's Championship.
That's way more involved than I was saying, and that is wrestling in the WWE is really, you don't really win the first time. If you really want to push Tatum Paxley, you have her go. She'll lose. You go, and what a tremendous effort. And then 3 months later, she goes again. I think Lola Vice is in that situation right now. I think she may be the first one to get the championship, but Tatum Paxley also is being built. So, and lastly, I think the match I'm looking forward to the most. Wow, I guess you hate this match. It is Dark State trying to get their NXT championships back, but to do that, they have to go through the Broken Rules match. Both Brother Nero and Matt Hardy are broken/woken. This right here is the first time we've seen Broken Matt Hardy in years in the WWE universe. They walk away with both sets of titles after Saturday.
What world do we live in? Like this is 2025, right? In 2015, what would you have done if somebody said, "Hey, first off, NXT in 2015 is completely different." But just what would you have done in 2015 if they said, "All right, on NXT at Takeover, we're going to see the TNA Tag Team Champions, the Hardy Boys, wrestle in I think the first time they had that match was like 2016 or 17 in a the final Broken Rules ultimate deletion match against these new guys." Like you'd be thinking, it's like, this is crazy, this is wild, like this is everything that we wished that pro wrestling can become. I'm a big fan of NXT because I feel like, I mean, you see it on the main roster as well at times, but I feel like with NXT, they really give these people a chance to get over, right? It's like we thought Sean Spears was done. Cool, bring him to NXT. I got something great for him. We think just we're seeing all these creative things, right? What you were seeing, what was supposed to be called Invasion, then it was called Showdown. That's kind of something that we saw back in 2001 that we probably never thought we'd see again, but then we ended up seeing something very similar with it, NXT versus TNA. Like it just boggles my mind just where we're at with pro wrestling in such a great way. I am very excited to see this match. I'm really curious what they're going to do. I wonder if like Jeremy Borash is going to get involved creatively. I know he always had a big part with a lot of these matches. We'll see how Shawn Michaels sprinkles his creativity into this match. And obviously, are we going to go see Senor Benjamin? Are we going to see, Rebby? Are we going to see King Max, or was that Maxwell? Like, how old is that kid now, right? Like, is he going to show up with like a beard?
It's like 8 years old with a beard.
Yeah. Cool. So yeah, and you even saw a glimpse of like was it pray myself is obsolete. Well, we saw a little bit of that from Jeff Hardy. But yeah, I'm with you. I'm really looking forward to see this match. I cannot wait after my show this Saturday, October 25th, to get home so I can watch Halloween Havoc, or maybe I'll just watch it from my phone. Hopefully the roaming charges aren't too expensive from since I'm on a Peruvian cell phone plan.
Oh man, that's kind of the worst thing ever, man. Those Peruvian cell phone plans. But Halloween Havoc comes to you this weekend. Kind of cool that over the years it shifted from being a TV show to a PLE, but I'm not sure if this is going to be in the same category without having a spooky host. But that said,
and we don't have a spin the wheel, make the deal either.
Yeah, well, we don't have a Dusty Classic or a breakout tournament. It's kind of different times in NXT these days, on the silver and black brand. But Prince, talk to me, man. If you're not beating up people, Theory, on Saturday, where can I find you? Where can I connect with you? Where can I fly out to your kingdom and see the Royal Guards?
You can follow me on the Instagram, right? We just got Instagram at El Peruvian Prince, right? You saw I did a little journey out to a Peruvian restaurant out here not too long ago.
Oh yeah.
And they if you see the videos of me entering this place, you see me getting treated like the royalty that I am.
Wow.
They welcomed me, they fed me, they gave me some Inca Cola, which is the best soda in all over the world. They gave me some lomo saltado.
Whoa.
Some
Inca
papa la
Cola is the
huancaína.
best soda in the whole world. We have it too in our culture. We call it cola champagne. And the Scottish have it too. They call it Earn Brew. It's not the best. It's like part of a category.
How dare you?
I'm just saying.
Have you tried all those?
Yeah.
That you just mentioned?
Yeah.
What's it called out here?
Well, in West Indies, we have cola champagne. That's kind of what it tastes
Cola
like.
champagne?
Kola champagne. Tastes very similar to Inca Cola.
Wait, have you had Inca Cola?
Yeah. I mean, there are a lot of Peruvian restaurants in here.
And you go to them on a regular basis?
Well, I can afford to go to. I do a podcast, sir. Once a month, I get my my VPN ads affiliate money. I'll go out to a Peruvian restaurant.
Well, how about this? Next time you're in Peru, which probably was going to be the first time you're in Peru, I will take you to a Peruvian restaurant and have some Inca Cola. How does that sound?
Is that actually going to happen, or is that like a threat because I made fun of their soda? Yeah, you go to Peru by yourself.
Absolutely not. I am going to welcome you and show you what real royalty is like. We are going to have some pollo a la brasa, some papa la huancaína, some lomo saltado, some picarones, some what's it called? Morochas.
Fabulous.
We're gonna top it off with some lucuma ice cream.
Wow.
It's gonna be amazing.
I'm in it, man. And I'll bring cola champagne from the West Indies and Earn Brew from Scotland, and we can have a taste test.
Let's do it. I love it. I love all of it.
Yeah, we're gonna have it all together.
Yes, but in the meantime, yes, follow me at El Peruvian Prince on Instagram.
I will definitely do that. I don't think I do that right now, but I'll make my people call your people and connect. But hey, look, every Wednesday, in theory, Draped and Gold talks to you about the best, hottest topics in wrestling. Make sure you follow the show. Make sure you support the show. Make sure you got 5 stars wherever you listen to your podcast. Shout out to Terrence Matthews here. Let's do this. Whoa. I'm glad to see the girls throw Kalani stuff out.
That is cold-hearted. That is cold-hearted because anybody else would have done the same thing if they were in Kalani Jordan's position.
Hey, look, he gave us $2. I'm not gonna shame him, but savage. That's what I want to say. All right, man.
They're just jealous. They're just jealous. Lola Vice, Jada Parker. By the way, I like that shoulder thing that Jada Parker does.
It's cool, but I feel like now that OTM has new music, she should have the old OTM music. Like that's what's missing.
I thought so too.
That's what's missing.
She does a little LSU little shoulder thing.
Mm-hmm.
Miss Polka. Although I heard rumors though. You see the rumors?
I don't see rumors.
I guess I saw rumors on the Instagram that Jada Parker's been doing a lot of yeeting.
Oh yeah. Well, no, yeah. Yeah. All right, I'm out of here, man. I'm not starting the pot. Okay, I'll turn the pot afterwards. Draped and Go back next week. It's going to be our Halloween episode. I guess I have to get a costume. Will I get a costume? We'll talk about it. But until next time, we're out. Make sure you see the Prince this Saturday in the Lucha Libre situation. What's the website? Want to get it one more time?
You can follow Instagram Ultra Lucha.
Ultra Lucha.